Now that you know a little bit more about Nearpod and how it can be used in the classroom, I'm going to now talk to you a little bit about how to create a Nearpod lesson by using a PowerPoint presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint that I created. Um, I did this on the digestive system for first grade, and I have sometimes used Keynote. I like Keynote a little bit better just because I think it has nicer graphics in PowerPoint. Um, you can also create presentations on the actual Nearpod website, but they're the colors and the designs are very limited, so that's why I've always created them either using PowerPoint or Keynote. Um, just for future reference, if you want to save time, you can actually also download presentations off of Teachers Pay Teachers, which I do pretty frequently, and I edit them and tailor them, for the needs of my students. And I often upload those to Nearpod and create lessons that way. That way you're not always making new presentations. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now, in order to get this onto Nearpod, you have to save it as a PDF. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that in case you're not sure. I'm gonna call it digestive system Nearpod presentation, and I'm going to save it to the desktop because I just think it's a lot easier to drag and drop the file onto the actual Nearpod site, which I'll show you in a minute. And I'm going to save as PDF. So now it's on my desktop. So now I'm going to X out of this, and now I'm going to go open up. I'm going to open up the Nearpod website and log in. So you log in up here, and then you go here and you click. I just log in with Nearpod, and hopefully you'll create an account after you've seen all these lessons. So now what I'm going to do, this is like a library of different lessons I've created, and I'm going to go back to the home page. So if you see where I'm clicking up here at the top, I'm going to go and I'm going to click create. And so now what we have to do is we have to upload a new presentation. So I'm going here and I'm going to add a presentation. And it says, you can see right here, it says drag your files here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here to my desktop, and I'm just going to click the presentation and I'm going to drag it right there. Pretty easy. Okay. And as soon as it loads, we'll continue. Okay, so now we have the presentation on Nearpod, and this is where the fun starts. What we can do now is, you could just show it as is on for each student. Like this could be what all they see, but the fun of Nearpod is really to add interactive elements to it. So what I want to do that, I am going to says so I clicked add slide, and I'm going to add an activity. So I'm going to click that one more time just so that you can see what I'm doing. I click add slide, and I'm going to pick add activity. And adding content, that could be like if you're adding another PowerPoint presentation and you're blending two different ones, or if you're adding some photos or something like that. That's what you could do with that. I haven't really played around with the add web content part yet, but I'm gonna stick with what I'm comfortable with right now. So that's adding activities. You could do open-ended questions. That's a little advanced for first grade, so I don't do a whole lot of that, but and that's where the kids would see a question that they could type in a short answer for. You could do polls, you could do quiz and draw it. I also haven't done fill in the blank because that's pretty new actually. So just for the fun, I am going to do draw it for now because this is probably one of my favorite ones. So let's just say the kids have learned about the stomach of the digestive system. So I'm going to add a slide that says draw a picture of food digesting in the stomach. So that's going to pop up on their screen. Where it says drag your image or PDF here, if you wanted to, you could add a picture for them to draw on. But in this case, I just want it to be a blank page, and I want them to do all the drawing. So I'm just going to leave that blank, and I'm going to click Save. And so that is down here, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to put it right after the stomach slide right here. Let's see. This little slide right here says the small intestine is almost 25 feet long. So what I could do now is I could add a quiz question about that. So I'm going to click Add Slide again. I'm going to click Add Activity, and I'm going to click Quiz. I'll just do small intestine. That'll be the title of this quiz question. And then the quiz question I'll say is how long, or I'm going to say about how long is the small intestine. And you can have, for first grade, I typically have 2 to 3 answers for them to choose from, but you could do more, obviously. I'm going to say 100 feet, 25 feet, and I'll do one more. I'll do 1 foot. And I'm going to click this one to indicate that that is the correct answer. If you wanted to, this little part right here says add image. You could upload an image of the small intestine just as a visual for them right there, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. If you wanted to, you could add other questions to this section. You don't have to just have one question. So that's why you can have this thing right here. It says add question. It's just if you wanted multiple questions at a time, you could do that. But for now, I'm going to save it, and it's not in the right place. So I'm going to drag it and put it right after the small intestine. At the end, if I wanted to, I could add another. I could add several quiz questions. I typically do that at the very end of my lesson. So I'll just say digestive system review. I'm going to put these questions at the end. You might ask a question like, which organ is not part of the digestive system? Or instead of that, I'm just going to say which is not part of the digestive system. And I'll say stomach, liver, and I will do phalanges. Something obviously not right. So then I might want to add another question. So this way you have a series of questions. So maybe you might want to add a true or false question. You could say true or false. You could say food passes through the esophagus before reaching the stomach. And then you could just have true or false as your options. This is a true statement, so I'm gonna go ahead and click that. That's all I'm gonna do for now. You could do as many as you really want. I found with first graders that, and probably anybody in lower elementary, you don't want this presentation to take a long time. Um, with older kids, I imagine you could have several quiz questions. And the really cool thing about it is that as the teacher in control of the presentation, you get to see you get to see their answers and get instant feedback. They don't necessarily see if they've gotten it right or wrong unless you share it. Um, so um, I'm just gonna stop for now, just with adding any more slides, just because I think this is a good beginning for everybody that's new to Nearpod. I would start with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and publish it, and it likes you to sort of explain what you have here. So I'll just say Nearpod presentation for first graders on the digestive system. And I could have said elementary school. So I don't know if that would really be for pre-K, but I'm going to click first, second, and third. I'm going to click science. I'm going to click done. And then it says, are you sure that you're ready to publish this presentation? I am. And so at the top, you might not be able to see, but it says that it's being published. It can take a few minutes. So once you have it, this is going to take me to my collection of presentations right here, and it looks like it's already actually ready. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. And I want you to just sort of see what it's like from the teacher's point of view. So I'm going to preview it, and you've already seen before what it looks like for the student to log in. So now you're seeing what you've created. This is just sort of going through the basic facts of the digestive system, and then here's the part that we added. It says draw a picture of food digesting in the stomach, and the part that says empty canvas, that's not really going to show up on the presentation once the students view it. Then we go through some other facts, and then it's showing us the quiz questions that we've added, and that's pretty much good enough. It looks like everything was created correctly. So now you know how to upload a presentation to Nearpod and how to make edits to it. There are a lot of other elements to this resource and this tool that you guys can explore on your own. I still don't know everything about it for sure. They keep adding new things to it and updating it and making really great improvements on it. So I'm continuing to learn more and more about it. I use this pretty frequently in first grade. It's really a great tool to introduce a new topic. You could even add some of the quiz questions at the beginning just as a pre-test, and then do some at the end as a post-test. There's a lot of great ways to assess as well using this tool. So I hope that you guys learned a lot, and I hope to see you guys using Nearpod in the future. We do have this app downloaded on all the iPads at the school, pretty much. So definitely take advantage of it. It's a great resource. It's a great because there's also other presentations that you could probably find, and you can actually buy other people's presentations that they've created. So when I say resource, it truly is a resource and a great tool to use for teaching and integrating technology into your teaching. So thank you very much, and let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.